Are you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan?
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, DirtFish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Amy Hood.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Hood, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning. Welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Kicking off an epic show today. Jim Beaver here, along with Amy Hood, who is wearing a bit of a crown this week. Congratulations. I know we're going to get into that later on, but congrats on the big win, Hood.
Thank you. I'm very excited.
Yeah. So today's show, man, sometimes we have light guest lists. Today we're packed solid. So we've got RJ Anderson. Obviously, he just got done backflipping razors in XP1K, winning the UTV World Championship, and racing in the Lucas Oil kickoff in two different classes. He's on. Then we got the Dirt Princess, Haley Degan, I think making her debut. Maybe she was on the phone when her dad called in one time and she said hi, but this is the first time she's ever actually been on the show for an interview. So I'm really pumped for that. And took a podium in her first ever pro light race in Lucas Oil. Big deal for her.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then we got Steve Arpin, a Canadian, racing in Red Bull Global Rallycross. And he comes with a snowmobile background, but always fun to have Steve Arpin on the air. And then also got Max Papis, a legendary Formula One IndyCar driver. Now he's making steering wheels, and he's really knee-deep in UTV and off-road world. And I think some Monster Jam trucks running those MPI steering wheels as well. So lots coming at you today on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We're going to take a short break. We come back. Amy and I, we got a lot to talk about here on your favorite action motorsports radio show.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
As certain as the sun rises and sets around the world, OTSFF Group is dedicated to providing flexible, comprehensive, and reliable transportation solutions. Air transportation, ocean freight, ground transportation, or a combination of services. We offer innovative and custom-built packages specifically designed to meet your transportation needs. OTSFF Group has been keeping shipments moving globally for nearly 2 decades. OTSFF Group, flexible logistics services designed for you. More information at OTSFF.com. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on 4 wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, kicking off things, and first off, got to give a shout-out to my side project, Project Action, over on Podcast One. Thanks to everybody who have rated, reviewed, and subscribed. Please go to iTunes and listen in. And, man, I don't know. I'm looking at things, and I'm going, we've had a list of Canadians on there, Hood. We had you on air.
Yeah.
And then I had Sebastian Bach, legendary singer for Skid Row. He's Canadian. And then this week I'm dropping an interview with my friend Naomi Kyle, who is the face of IGN. She's when you think of pop culture and video gaming, she literally is that person. One of the first people to do the new non-nude Playboy. But anyway, she's my guest this week. We did an epic hour-long interview, and you guys will definitely want to check that out over there on Podcast One. Drops this Thursday. And talking with her, I got to ask you about this, Hood. So are you familiar with Twitch, twitch.tv? It started out as...
No, I'm not.
Okay, so it's literally one of the most trafficked websites in the entire world. It's basically a live streaming version of YouTube. It started out where gamers used to live stream their video gaming, right? So...
okay. Yes. I've heard of all this.
Yeah, but now it's turned into more. So they've got this whole thing called Twitch Creative. And so you can live stream anything where you're creating, right? So if you're video editing, you can literally live stream the whole video editing process. So Naomi and I, we talked, and she's actually, she's actually got one where she paints and does artwork, right, in this creative channel. So we're opening up a Twitch channel for the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and we're going to live stream the show, like the studio. I'm literally kind of redo the studio in here so it looks good for TV, and we're gonna live stream you and I every single week on there. But there's got to be a way where I think with this, where we can actually get a webcam on you, and so you can be, even though you're remote most of the time, you can be in the live stream on the TV, just like with multiple cameras or something. So,
I think a lot of your listeners might want to watch a little bit more of what I get up to compared to what you get up to, because you know me right now, I'm chilling in Florida, heading out to Miami. Usually I'm chatting with you guys on a beach somewhere. So I'm pretty sure we should work that out.
Yeah, so that literally, it's in the process. I applied for a partnership with Twitch, and we're probably a month out, but I'm working on it. You didn't even know about this, and I'm like, oh, yeah, Hood, I'm going to give you a webcam, and you're going to start webcamming into the show. And you're like, what? So there you go. That's how you and I communicate. But anyways, let's talk about your weekend. Finally, I know I got a text this weekend from you. You've won a lot of events, but not an overall event win in Monster Jam. And we knew this one was coming, and I told you, I'm like, it's going to happen, and it happened, man. And congratulations. How did that all come together?
Oh, my goodness. It was pretty amazing. But, yeah, it's been a long time coming. Me and Zombie, we win a lot of stuff, but we never had an overall event win ever, and it's been pissing me off. So, honestly, you could, like the Triple Threat Series, the Central Tour, we are stacked with good drivers. It's been a challenge. Like Justin Sipes and Camden Murphy have been so dominant, kind of, going back and forth between wins every weekend. They haven't left much room for anybody else. But this weekend, I've been putting in the work. If you've been following me on Instagram, I've been at the gym every single day, busting my butt, and I just knew before the season was over that I needed to take a win. Like, I needed it. And I even missed out in donut competition. I broke my truck in wheelies, and we were not able to fix it in time for donuts, and I was actually first going into donuts. And so I was just so devastated. I thought, oh, there goes my chances. But you know what? I just kind of put my head down, won speedsters, won freestyle, and got the overall event win. But it was pretty crazy because actually in the freestyle competition, I was leading going into freestyle, and I'm like, you know what, I got to go out with a bang. It was a pretty tame show, I just really wanted to wow the crowd. So I kind of waited till the very end, right when I saw that red light went on. I sent it, try to do like the moonwalk. So when you get it up on the two wheels on the front and you hit it into reverse and you back up onto the pod. No, I decided to roll it and jump out of the truck and, went to the crowd and everybody went nuts. And I knew right then and there that I had won, and it was pretty epic.
Yeah, well, it sucks on the donuts part because that's like you're dominant in that.
I know.
Yeah, but I'm so pumped for you. And was this the last round, or do you have like one round left? I can't remember.
I have one round left, so I am headed to Moline, Illinois for my last round. But after that, Jim, you know how long I've been waiting. It's been 5 months, and I'm finally heading back to Canada.
Yeah. You waited out the snow. Now you get to go back when the weather's getting good.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah.
Everybody, my bike is fully prepped. Tracks are open. Like, this could have been perfect timing.
Yeah. Your parents are like, man, do we have a daughter? We thought we had a daughter, but we haven't seen her in months. No, I know they saw you in Vegas, but it's gonna be fun. All your moto chicks up there, they're probably amped.
Oh yeah, they're so excited. It's just, the Winnebago's all ready to rock. My boyfriend, he's coming with me too after he has his European tour stops, and we're just going to go back to Canada, ride dirt bikes, have an epic time, and just, enjoy being back home. It's been a really long time, but we got to get all my stuff in order because, we might be headed back down to do some more training, and, it's just a short summer months. Like, we only have a couple months really to still get ready and get prepped for the 2018 series. And, I want to be the dominant one this year. Like, move over Justin Sipes and Camden Murphy. Like, I'm going to be putting in the work and putting in the time and, watching videos and studying and working my butt off at the gym. And I think now I know exactly what and where I have to be for 2018 to win that championship. And that's what I want to do. I may be on holidays, but it's, I'm going back to the grind as soon as I get back home. And I'm really excited for it. Like, I've never been so motivated in my life, actually. It's really going to be cool.
Yeah, I know I'm the same way. Like, at the start of the year, I had this whole Star Car program. We knocked out, I don't know how many races to begin the year, 2 in that. I had a trophy truck race, had a bunch of stuff mixed in, some media appearances, and, like, I've been on the go. And then finally this last weekend was literally the first weekend where I could breathe. So, I actually got to go see Kiss in concert, which was bucket list deal, seeing Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, full makeup, seeing Kiss on stage. Like, it was epic.
Dang.
Spent a day on the river. I think that's when you were trying to get a hold of me, and I was literally out in the middle of the water. And now it's like back to the, it's the start of the week, and I'm like, all right, I have my 1 weekend vacation. I'm like, all right, so we got this and this and this to do, prep for the race car. I need to get this lined up. Like, it's like, okay, vacation's over. Let's go back to the grind. We don't have a race until August, and I'm like, already like, all right, let's go.
You know what, I feel like when you're trying to make your dreams reality, there ain't no vacation. Like, it's a 24/7 grind, and I just think the people who live this lifestyle understand that. Like, there ain't no rest for the wicked. When you're vacationing, your competition is working. So it's put in the work to get what you want.
It's weird for me not to have anything to do. It's like, okay, I had a weekend or like a week where I just literally, as far as race program and everything, I just shut it out, shut the shop, and literally nobody went in there for a week, right? And it was so bizarre. Like, I'm like, it's like something's missing, It's like, So I don't know. It's like a drug addict missing their drugs or something.
It is. I totally know exactly what you mean. So
you're going to be racing some motocross though this summer, right? You're going to be. I know I've been. When I see your stuff pop up on Instagram and things like that, literally you get people asking, "Hey, Amy, are you going to ride the motocross bike again?" Like you're going back to racing this summer though, right?
Yeah, but I think I'm going to switch up racing. Like I'm going to do a couple of my, favorite races and just the fun stuff. But I'm going to try to do a little bit more. Like I want to do a couple more flat track races down here in Florida. I want to do some Endurocross. I told you that I went and did that one Endurocross race back home, and I want to do more stuff like that. Like, get back into the fun side of racing. But, we're going to talk about this in a couple minutes here. But I want to try different types of racing. So, I've been on 2 wheels my whole life, but I really want to try to make this transition to 4 and, get some more time under my belt driving things with 4 wheels.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we got to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll get RJ Anderson calling in to the show, and I know we'll be talking with Amy a little bit more, hour number 2. We got some crazy Supercross news to talk about. We've got some Hoonigan stuff and a whole lot more. That's all coming at you later on, but we're going to take a short break, and then we got RJ Anderson on the line after this. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'd like to welcome one of the the most badass guys I know, my Polaris RZR teammate, RJ Anderson. How's everything going, RJ?
What's going on, Jim? Man, it's been a crazy week, I tell you what.
Yeah, dude, you've had one hell of a couple of weeks, man. I mean, between you dropped XP1K, you won the UTV World Championship, and then you ran 2 divisions at Lucas, and your brother ran another 2 divisions at Lucas. I mean, it was, dude, for RJ Anderson and the whole Anderson family, man, it's been a wild run here.
No, this was definitely a crazy month. It was cool, definitely, to kick it off with that World Championship win. Ever since Joey and the Mad Media crew created that race, I've wanted one of those really bad. Everyone's there, and it's the biggest UTV race I think that there is. So to be able to bring that thing home was really cool. And then rolling into the release of XP1K last week, and the perception of that's been really good. And then headed into Lucas Oil this weekend, man, it was a crazy weekend, but glad it's behind us and keep moving forward for all that stuff. Yeah,
you guys can finally catch a breather and concentrate on the short course program now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to the UTV World Championship. I know heading into that, I was talking with, I think it was Joey D or somebody, and you're the face of Polaris Razor, right? And everybody thinks RJ, they think Razors, they think XP1K, but you have so many obligations with short course and with everything else. Like, I mean, there's a time where you go through dry spells and you're not actually in Razors racing for quite some time. I mean, you're in them out at the dunes and things like that filming, but I think it had been quite a while since you actually raced one, right? Going into the UTV World Championship.
Yeah, no, definitely. I hadn't raced a Razor since September of last year, and I hadn't raced that car since May of last year. So it'd been 11 months just since I'd raced actually the car that I was racing out there. But no, totally. I think a lot of people see me in and around Razors, but they forget that this is where I started. These are my roots, is racing Razors, and I still got it in me every once in a while. So it was definitely cool to be able to go and win that one in front of everyone. Everyone's there. A lot of eyes and attention on that race. So it was cool to be able to show up, and that's the only UTV race really I'm doing this year. So to be able to show up to the one that I'm doing and be able to win it and remind everyone that I could still go fast every once in a while on the Razor too.
Yeah, well, and I got to tell you, I felt bad for you guys in the production race because I did 10 laps of the desert race and that new Razor build I've got. And, dude, by lap 10, it was hell on earth out there. It was the most horrendously rough course that I think I'd ever been on. And then I was like, man, I feel bad for you production guys. I mean, we've got, like, long travel and everything else, and you guys were dealt a bad hand going into there. I mean, you had to gone out on lap 1 and went, what the heck happened out here?
No, yeah, it's pretty crazy. That's what I keep saying, is that we need to do the short course in the morning and then give the desert guys the rough stuff at the end of the day. But, yeah, man, the track was pretty rough, and I had a third row start, so something we're not used to in short courses, all of that dust. I mean, we took off from the first – I was on the third row, and the first 2 rows, I mean, there was no water on that Laughlin course, so it was just dusty and rough, and the first lap was chaos. We only had 3 laps, though, so it was definitely a charge.
Yeah, there's no time to lift. I know, like the desert one, it was one of those where I had to set my pace, and then you just start clicking off laps because you got 10 of them. But, you're not necessarily driving 100%. You got to back down to 90 or 95 to save the car, But with you guys with that short course race, it's 110% all 3 laps. You just can't lift. You can't afford to.
No, definitely. And it's that gamble of not pushing your car too hard, but there's someone that's fast that's going to push it and make it, So it's you only have 3 laps. Where in the desert race, if someone's pushing wide open, they're most likely not going to make it. And the short course race, someone's going to give it 110%, and someone's going to make it. So you have no choice but to give it your all those 3 laps.
Yeah. So let's talk a little XP1K. Obviously, that dropped. I think it's got to be the most successful XP1K drop since the beginning, man. I think over 1 million views, like right out of the box. It was seemed like in the past it took a week or 2 to climb that way, and man, this one it was like immediate, boom, 1 million views. I kept looking at it, and I think by the time I shared it on my Facebook page, it was darn near there. So, you guys have to be really stoked with the reception to this one.
No, it's been super cool, and it's always funny going into it. You don't know, we know how we feel about the video and all that, but you just never know how people are going to take it. And everyone took to this one super well. I mean, like you said, the very first few video we did, I think it took about 3 weeks to get to 1 million views. And this one I think that when we released X21K4 on Facebook, it hit 1 million views in like 19 hours or something. So pretty crazy how much traction it's gained. And we just released it last Tuesday, so just over a week later, we're at, I think, almost 4 million views or something like that. So it's definitely hit the internet hard, and a lot of people have seen it, and it's been cool to see off-road and how it's growing and how people are digging it.
Yeah, well, and I know the Martellis, they've really pushed you, you know what I mean, in these videos, and obviously we'll talk about the backflip in a minute, but I think there's a lot of stuff in these videos that people don't give you the credit for. I mean, you make it look so damn easy, and there's some of the things where, I mean, I'm just looking at, some of these gaps and things like that where you're really threading the needle, and you got to judge your speed just right, and and I gotta feel you're hitting them on your first try. I mean, but some of these jumps, I mean, there's got to be some stuff that people see the backflip on, they're like, oh, that's scary, but there's got to be some of that other stuff that made you pucker even more than the backflip.
Oh, definitely, and that's one thing that's cool about these videos is a Polaris RZR is the only thing that could be able to achieve what we're pulling off in these videos, and that's kind of the conception I think people were able to grab during this one. I mean, threading the needle through some of the tight, rocky stuff, and then being able to jump some of those gaps, and it's the perfect vehicle for what we're doing. And there's, like a Jeep or something that could not even come close to what we're pulling off. So I think that's one thing that's cool about these is we're able to show, the public, hey, look at what these things are capable of. And we're able to push it to the limit again this time in the fourth one. So that's always kind of a challenge too, is taking some things we did, making them different, making them fresh, making them fun, and having the people enjoy it.
Yeah, well, and we got to talk about the backflip, because I know there's a very small handful of guys that have backflipped RZRs, and some of them, some of them are pretty damn sketch. You know what I mean? It's one of those where they can make 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6, or something like that. But I mean, how did the whole backflip go down? Was that your first hit on it, or did you have to have a few takes?
No, actually, we did the backflip to dirt twice and stuck both of them. So I think that the one that we showed in the video actually was, I don't think I could have done it any cleaner. I was stoked when we pulled that one off. I mean, everything just went perfect. I had a lot of help. I went into the Fitzpatrick compound. I know a lot of people probably seen that on Instagram, as the moto guys going crazy out at his place. But he's got a foam pit there, so him and a bunch of freestyle guys, a bunch of snowmobile guys, they all helped me with the backflip. I went out there and learned from a bunch of those guys on kind of what I was doing, because I'd never backflipped anything in my life. So I did about probably 10 hits in the foam pit, got somewhat comfortable, and was like the same day we practiced, went actually to the location and did it that day. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And like you said, we're not the first one to do it, but I think we're the first people to put it into measure, like how mega the flip was, and be able to shoot it the correct way.
Yeah, no, it was. You see the sequence, the sequence photos, and to me, that's what's like, holy crap, man! It's you got to get some height to even get the rotation. It's just such a massive commitment, to be able to put it all together. It was really rad to see that, and Martellis are top notch at being able to capture that, you know what I mean, and really expose people to what goes into things, and I think they did that perfect with a backflip.
Yeah, definitely, and that was one of the things too about those sea containers, is just to give it perception, is those containers when they're stood like that are 40 feet tall, and that at one point in my rotation the tires are almost up to the top of it. So I think we went like about 33 feet high on that thing. So they're definitely hoping you stick it, because that's a long fall from that height.
Yeah. So let's switch gears here. We got to talk some short course. Obviously, you're running your program. You're running Pro 2, Pro 4. Your brother's running the new UTV class, and he's running Pro Light. Opening rounds. I mean, I know I saw you on the podium. How you feeling about the program moving forward? In 2017.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. Our results definitely had a little bit of shaky results this weekend, but I'm super stoked with it. Having basically every class covered, I'm doing the Pro 2 and Pro 4, like you said, and then my brother, we just built him a new Pro Light. He's running that this year, as well as the new UTV class. So he showed lots of speed in that thing, was able to bring home a fourth in the UTV, was running podium contention in the Pro Light. So stoked to have him under my tent, and we had some really fast trucks this weekend. That stupid mechanical bit me on Saturday in the Pro 2, but still learning in the Pro 4, so that'll be a season-long battle learning, and I'm racing with the best guys, so definitely a learning process jumping into the Pro 4, but I'm excited for all the rounds. I mean, I think we got a good start to the year, and it's something we could build off for sure.
Yeah, well, and it seems like the Pro 4s, I mean, talking to guys that have actually driven them, and, I've driven all-wheel drive rally cars, never driven an all-wheel drive off-road truck, but it's really, I mean, those trucks, you have to drive them at 110% all the time, or they don't even work right? I mean, it's a truck where you can't drive it soft. I mean, it's got to be 100%, or the trucks just don't hook up and don't work, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have to basically give it your all the whole time. It's just like you said, the more aggressive you are, the madder you get, and the harder you drive it, it likes it more and more and more. So you have to be super aggressive, and it's a little bit different than the Pro 2, because the Pro 2 you have to have some finesse and hit your lines, and the Pro 4 you just basically have to get angry and drive it as hard as you can the whole time.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, buddy. I know you've got a busy day today, but, thanks a lot for the call-in, and congrats on the successes with the UTV World Championship and XP1K, and I'm sure we'll see you on the top of the box in Lucas at some point this year.
Yeah, sounds good. No, thanks for having me, and we'll keep up soon and make ssure to keep sharing that XP1K4 video.
All right, sounds good, buddy. Thanks a lot, RJ.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Bye. All right, that was RJ Anderson. And definitely make sure and check out his new video, XP1K Part 4. It's all over Facebook, YouTube, very easy to find. It's on my Facebook page as well as his and every other one on the internet for the most part. But we're going to take a short break. We come back. Steve Arpin online here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at KCHighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, welcoming my next guest on the line, my good friend Steve Arpin. How's everything going, Steve?
Oh, we're starting racing this weekend, so how could things be great?
Yeah, things. You guys have had. It seems like you've been pretty darn busy, though, man. You're ripping wraps off of race trailers and everything else, man. I like it. You're a driver that doesn't mind getting dirty.
It's been an awesome off season this year. We an exciting new venture for us. We separated ways with Chip Ganassi Racing and the Lone Bro Boys, myself, and along with pretty much our entire team. We started up our own deal this year, and we are so excited about what's to come this year. It's going to be awesome. So, but you're right. It's been an interesting off season. Scrubbing a lot of toilets on Saturdays, sweeping floors, doing gender duties on the weekends, peeling wraps, selling sponsorship. It's shaping up to be an exciting year for Lone Bro Motorsports.
Yeah, well, you know, one thing I've always appreciated about you, Steve, is you're kind of like me, and that you're there. You've reached it. You know what I mean? You're like, I'm not letting this go. There's no way I'm going to be out of a job. I will go. You're one of those guys, like you said. I'll scrub toilets if that's what's going to keep me in a ride. Like, there's no shame in that, buddy.
Dumbasses, and we're still chasing on, right? We are going to make it one way or another. Yeah. Even though all signs say no, we are not going to accept it. We're going to make it happen.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, I've got this new project called the Polaris Razor Star Car, and I had you know her well, but I had Alyssa Ronick with ESPN. She was riding in the car with me, and I think you can appreciate this. She was riding in there and kind of feeling out how racing razors was and stuff like that. She's a phenomenal co-driver, by the way. But anyway, she at one point I said. Because I'm like you. I mean, I wear so many hats in this program. I do so much. I mean, I'll be, wrenching on the car. I'll be making calls, getting sponsorships, whatever. But I told her, I said, all that doesn't matter because once I sit in here and I can put the helmet on and flip the face shield, the visor down, I said, everything's worth it because it all goes away. You know what I mean? And then you can concentrate on racing. And that's.
Isn't that is so true. There's so many people that think that just being a race car driver is a glamorous, exciting life.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, this, it comes with its perks. Like, I get to drive the absolute most incredible piece of equipment. It's literally the ultimate rush that I never thought I'd get to experience. But that's like 1% of my job. We race 12 races a year over 8 weekends. The rest of it is. And it's grueling. It's like these cars are expensive to keep on the racetrack. The quality of people we have here at Lone Bro Motorsports, it's payroll every week is a nightmare when you have to look at the books, my lord. But it's the moment, like there's so many sleepless nights, but the moment we went testing a couple weeks ago and I got to hit that gas pedal on that thing right after I turned the anti-lag system on, it's like I had that mischievous little grin on my face again, and it's like that's why we do it. That's exactly why we do it. And the guys made me go out at the end of the test, and they're changing up some rules, doing some things to possibly have some longer races in GRC. And so we went out and do a fuel run to see how long we can go without fuel. And it's like my job is literally to go drive this awesome race car as long as I can until I run out of fuel. It's like, how good can it get, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like, pinch me, right? Is this for real?
Exactly.
Well, that's interesting because I know, that'd be really cool. This is the first I've heard about it. I know GRC's toyed with the idea of longer tracks and stuff like that, but it sounds like they might be getting a little bit close to implementing them. I think that'd be awesome. I mean, you see that in all kinds of forms of motorsport. I mean, have the short tracks. You've got some that are longer. I mean, it's a good mix up, and and certain tracks cater to different drivers' styles and capabilities and stuff like that. So I think what are we talking, like 1.5 mile type of stuff in GRC or something?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know. I'm not sure if they're looking for longer racetracks or going to maybe 12, 15-lap finals.
Gotcha.
I think there's some possibilities both ways. But the biggest thing is just having the ability to implement new things if the situation comes. Another side of it is trying to be more efficient when we do get red flags. We're on the limit of fuel capacity right now.
Yeah. So
when we do have a red flag and we have that downtime during the race, we have to have time carved away to refuel the cars. So one of the instant bonuses to this situation is we'll cut out that refueling time so we can get back to racing a lot faster.
Yeah. So, let's go back. I know obviously you've had some podiums in GRC in the past, but how was it? I think we had you on air right after it, but how was it? I mean, last year, you've grinded through snowmobile racing and dirt track racing and pretty much everything. I mean, when you got that GRC win, I mean, what was going through your mind there? I mean, it's like, man, we finally made it. We're here,
Well, it was one of those wins. It was like a circumstantial win, right?
Yeah.
Like it was a tough one. It's not the way I wanted to win my first race, but when I look back at it, it's like we did everything right all day. We were the fastest car there all day, and it started pouring rain for the final. And the worst part was we just did not have a launch package for a wet track yet. And so we started on the front row, qualified awesome, and launched offline, and I was 8th going into turn 1. And so to be able to fight back, and the other guys overdrove. They drove too hard and got themselves in trouble, and we just kind of plugged along and did it. But to get my first win in GRC against the level of competition, these guys that we're racing against are good. Scott Speed, Tanner Faust, Brian Deegan, all these guys like Nelson PK, like these guys are awesome race car drivers. And to be competitive at that level is awesome. Like it feels good, you know what I mean? But then to couple that, it's like, who doesn't, when you're a race car driver, who doesn't want to race at Daytona, right? It's like, it's the World Center Speed. It's just Daytona. It's incredible. So to get my first win at such a symbolic racetrack, the same weekend, our Ford partners, the Ganassi teammates over at Le Mans won Le Mans. Like it was a huge weekend for me, for the Lone Bro guys. Funny, we're going back to this because one thing I got to announce right now, it's really exciting for us, but Jacob Companies signed on board with us for that race. That's where we kicked everything off last year with them, developed an awesome relationship, and I've got a black car in the shop right now sitting on the scales, sitting there with an absolutely gorgeous Jacob Companies wrap ready to go on it to kick off the 2017 season for Lone Bro Motorsports. So we could not be more thrilled than to have them on board. It's going to be an awesome year.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Congratulations on that. That's definitely good news. And I don't think people appreciate, people see, whether it be in Rallycross or Supercross or NASCAR, or IndyCar, people see, sponsors going, they see sponsors on the side of the cars, but I don't think the general public realizes. I think it's just, somebody makes a call to, to Coca-Cola or whoever, hey, sponsor my car. Okay, yeah, we'll do it. And I don't think they realize the years and the sweat that goes into actually getting a financial partner to fund racing. I don't think people can appreciate that, and they don't know the work that goes into it. Unless you've been there and done that, I don't think anybody can appreciate it, So to me, to hear you, sign a sponsor like that, it's a big deal.
It on the head, yeah. It's a partnership anymore. The world of sponsorships has changed, and this is one thing that this is one of the reasons why Lone Bro, Paul and John Leach from Lone Bro own a race team right now, is because they've seen the world of sponsorships changing. They've seen the struggles in other forms of motorsports, and they want to come in and do things differently. And that being said, it's exciting the lineup of partners we have for this year that we're going to be announcing in the weeks to come is extremely exciting. But the biggest thing is social media has changed the world of sponsorships. All these companies are going to content-based programs that they can just build platforms on social media and somewhat starting to steer away from just the decals on the race car sponsorship things. So one of the things that we're really focusing on at Lone Bro Motorsports is how to create actual business partnerships. Sure, having the names on the car is great. Having the branding, the brand awareness is a great thing. But how can we actually move the needle for each and every one of these companies? We have another partnership we're getting to announce probably next week. The Jacob relationship that started out last year as a friendship with Paul and John Leach, and that's blossomed into opportunities that neither of us even thought were imaginable, were possible with the way their two companies intersected and the work that they're able to give each other. So it's one of those things that we're really excited about what we're doing here, and the world of sponsorship is changing, and we're gonna be ahead of the curve on the new world of motorsport sponsorships.
Yeah, and I think that's like you said, it's definitely partnerships, and I know even with mine, and people don't realize this because they see whatever it is running around on TV and see a logo, and and I can tell you a lot of my my partners, it's they go, oh great, we saw our logo on TV, but that's not why they're invested in me. It's everything behind the scenes that nobody sees. It's the business to business side of things and things like that, and it's it's such a interesting dynamic, like you said, social media and the shift that we've seen in the industry and what is value now, and it used to be, that logo on TV, and it's so not that anymore. I mean, that's a part of it, but it's, it's so complex.
That's the icing on the cake. After everything's done, before we even get to the racetrack, the program has to be worth it.
Yeah.
And then the value you get at the racetrack is sheer bonus.
Yeah, exactly. So, obviously, what are we expecting this weekend? We got Memphis coming up, the kickoff. It's a new track. You guys haven't raced there before. What are we anticipating here? Heading into Memphis.
So I am clearly one of the bigger bone drivers, if you want to call it that, of the GRC against all these little skinny little punks, right? So when I see a track like Memphis, I am pumped. I have got more left side weight than any other guy out there. We're going. It's going to be so cool to get on Memphis International Speedway. It's been dormant for years, and we got 12 degrees of banking going through the corners. We're going to have an awesome dirt section down the middle, racing down pit road. There's going to be high speed, fast sections that you're going to see multiple lanes of racing through the corners. I strongly believe that. And we're going to have tight technical sections down in the infield. So I think you're going to see a little bit of everything. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be really exciting. And the one biggest thing, I called a couple. Carl Edwards is a really good buddy of mine, and Memphis was one of his favorite tracks racing NASCAR. And he gave me 2 words to describe it. Actually, 4 words. It was tire killer. So that being said, we're probably going to be, hopefully BF Goodrich has an awesome tire coming to this weekend, but that might throw in some interesting little strategies and how the weekend's going to play out.
Yeah, you said left side weight. I'm like, it's funny you mentioned that because I look at you and you know what I mean. Race car drivers now, it's like they're so small, and and you're a big guy, but it's not big like as in fat or huge. It's just you're a bigger guy. You're like me. I mean, I'm 6'2" and 215 pounds. I'm just a big guy, and so it's one of those things where I laugh when you say that, but people don't realize, especially in Rallycross. I mean, every pound of weight makes a big difference,
Exactly. Like these guys, like Scott Speed, I think he weighs as much as my left thigh.
Yeah.
So they're little guys, but I'm telling you what, you watch it. I'm going to get around those banked left-hand corners faster than anyone this weekend.
Awesome, man. Well, good luck this weekend, Steve. We'll definitely be tuned in on TV. I know I'll be out to a couple of GRC rounds this year, so look forward to catching up with you, buddy.
Awesome. Hey, thank you guys for having me, and we're gonna go and do something spectacular this weekend. Hopefully, it'll give you a reason to have us back next week to tell you all about it.
I would love to have you on air next week with a winner's interview, buddy.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, y'all.
All right. Thanks a lot, Steve.
I just sounded Southern, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. That was so not Canadian, buddy.
that was a Canadian hillbilly right there.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, Steve.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Take care. All right, that was Steve Arpin, driver for Lowen Pro Racing in the Red Bull Global Rallycross Series. They're in action this weekend. Memphis, it will be on television on NBC. Definitely get yourself locked and loaded. I know I'm going to be in front of the TV all weekend long checking it out there at Memphis. And next week we will have our Red Bull Global Rallycross curtain call segment with the winners of the event. So definitely look forward to that next week. But we're going to take a short break. We come back here. We got some General Tire Lucas Oil off-road results coming at you.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP 1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Do you race, or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500, or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at ImpactRaceProducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Trunkload of cash at the Blue Water Resort and Casino, and they're giving away $76,000 in cash.
Oh yeah, the more we play, the more entries we can earn.
Woohoo! Plus, they're giving away over $3,000 in cash every Saturday.
Then on Saturday, June 24th, a guaranteed $43,000 in cash will be given away.
See the club for details.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
MMA at its best, and it's back. It's the RUF-13. Live cage fights on the river in the Blue Water Resort and Casino Showroom Saturday, May 13th with live fights starting at 7 p.m. Get your $25 ringside tickets now. General admission is just $15. Doors open at 6 p.m. Tickets available online or at the gift shop. Live cage fights on the river.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to bring you some Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series results, brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. And I would like to give a big shout-out to General Tire. Got off the phone with them yesterday, and as a big partner in the show, we are going to be running a contest here on the radio show where we're going to be giving away a free set of General Tires for your personal ride. So let me tell you, I'm excited to give one of you listeners a brand new set of General Tires. That's coming up. Give us a couple of weeks to get this thing sorted out, but coming up in the next couple of weeks, we are going to start giving away some tires on the radio show. You can't get much better than that. Thank you, General Tire, for your continued support of the show. But getting to those Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series results, we had a bunch of divisions in competition there at the kickoff. But Pro 4, very first race, we went to Bryce Menzies. We had Carl Renezetter in second, Kyle LeDuc in third, RJ Anderson in fourth there, and a solid effort for Bryce Menzies coming back from injury. Carl Renezetter, good result for him too. He's on his retirement tour, I guess. Then we had Pro Light. It was Heger, followed by my General Tire teammate Jarrett Brooks. Ryan Beat, Haley Degan with a fourth, Brandon Arthur with a fifth, and then going into the Pro Buggy results, it was Watson, Hardesty, Eric, Briska, and Kling. Then looking at some more of those results, we had on day number 2, we had Haley Degan taking a second place, a podium. She's our next guest up in the hot seat. We had Jarrett Brooks in the third spot, and Heger taking the win. And we had Watson, Hardesty, and Ward as finding their way to the podium in the buggies. And we had McCachran, Menzies, and R.J. Anderson there in Pro 4, taking podiums there as well. And, man, we, those are some of our General Tire Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series results for this past weekend, and we'll be bringing you those each and every week here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. After those Lucas Oil off-road races, we're going to take a short commercial break. We come back. We've got DirtFish Rally Report coming at you.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here, bringing you some DirtFish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com and use that coupon code JBDirtFish for 15% off. 15% off your classes there at DirtFish Rally School. But big rally weekend. We had the ARA American kickoff. They happening, and that was at the Oregon Trail Rally, one of my favorite rallies on the calendar. And it was solid entry list there. And man, what an epic event they had. David Higgins cutting a tire on day number 2, and him and Pastrana had an absolute shootout with SRT USA, and looks like Pastrana got the best of Higgins by just a little over 10 seconds there at the finish, snapping David Higgins' streak there at the Oregon Trail Rally. So big shout-out to Travis Pastrana for that victory. David Higgins finding the podium there in second. And then we had Jeff Seahorn in his brand-new WRX STI, finding the podium there in third and first in his division. Rounding out your top 5 overall, it was Matt Kaufman and Travis Neese. Two-wheel drive winners, it was Ryan Millen and Rhiannon Gelsomino there in 6th overall, first in two-wheel drive, and a big shout-out to Cameron Steele, Preston Osborne, pushing Ryan Millen and getting second there. We also had Jason Bailey in third in two-wheel drive. So, man, what an amazing event. Really just a great kickoff for ARA here, in the United States. A lot of iffy stuff going into this. Wondering, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Well, I got to tell you, it looks all in all to be one hell of an event. So, also in action, we had FIA World Rallycross happening, and got to give a big shout out to Matthias Ekstrom taking the victory there. Sebastian Loeb in second, followed by Johan Kristoffersen, Timmy Hansen, Reynes Nittis, and Petter Solberg, rounding out your top 6 in the final. And, I guess a lot of notables, we're looking for Ken Block. Well, he didn't make it past the semifinals, finishing 5th in semifinal number 1, and Andreas Backerud, his Hoonigan Racing teammate, was 6th in semifinal number 2. So neither one of them making the main event. Rare for those guys, but I know you guys were wondering what was going on, so had to give those results. And don't forget, this weekend, Red Bull Global Rallycross kicking off in Memphis. Definitely looking forward to that. So that is your DirtFish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. And we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, Haley Degan here on the line.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
All the hits of Boston and Styx. Boz Styx, a tribute to 2 great rock bands, live in the Blue Water Resort and Casino showroom. Don't miss David Victor, former lead singer of Boston, perform Boston and Styx greatest hits Saturday, May 27th. Doors open at 7 p.m. Show starts at 8. General admission tickets just $25. VIP only $40. Tickets on sale now. Get your tickets at the gift shop or online.
Blue Water Resort and Casino.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my next guest to the line. Big weekend for Haley Degan. How's everything going, Haley?
It's been going great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I think the last time I saw you was out at Terracross at Heydays, and you were laying down some pretty quick times out there. But, man, Lucas Oil this weekend, Pro Light debut, podium finish. You can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, for sure. It was such a great race. I was super happy with how I finished for the first race.
Yeah, well, and going into this opening weekend, I know obviously you've been in the karts for a long time. We'll get into, some of the NASCAR and stock car stuff you're doing, but I mean, what were the expectations going into this year? Because Pro Light, I mean, your dad spent a lot of time there. This is one of the toughest divisions in off-road racing.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. Pro Light is such a competitive class. I think it's one of the primary classes in that series. And to come out there and be able to finish on the podium, I think it says a lot.
Yeah, I definitely think it was a big statement, coming into the opening round. I mean, was there? I mean, what were the expectations for you? I mean, that class is hard. I mean, you knew you had a shot at a podium. I mean, were you expecting it to come the first weekend? I mean, that's a big statement you made there.
Yeah, I really didn't know what I was going to expect. I think my goal for myself was to get top 5, but I blew myself away, I guess.
Yeah. So, the rest of this year, I mean, now, you've got to feel like you're in a really good position. I mean, your first weekend of racing, you take away a podium. Now you got to know, it's like, all right, I can compete. We know what everybody else in the class is bringing. So now it's like, going into the next rounds, you're definitely gunning for the win, right?
Yeah, for sure. I am coming out there swinging because I know I have a chance now. I'm not just going to be out of the mid pack. I'm going to be actually running up front with the fast guys.
Yeah. With this program, obviously, your dad, drove so many years in Pro Light. I mean, do you feel like as far as like setups at the track and things like that, you may have a leg up on the competition just because, he spent so much time in a Pro Light truck that, he really knows how the setup should be for specific tracks?
Yeah, I think kind of but he raced Pro Light quite a few years ago, but now Pro Light has changed so much. The trucks have changed so much. Motors, all setup has changed a lot, but the tracks have stayed mostly the same. But since we bought Brandon Arthur's truck, he's prepping it for us, and so pretty much he already knows that he was a championship contender last year, and he knows all the setups already, and so he's been helping us out with that, and it's been working really well.
Yeah. So I know, this weekend you're all over the place. So this weekend, switching gears, I know you're back in North Carolina now, but you've got, I believe, some late models. I mean, how is it for you jumping back and forth between, stock car racing and then the off-road stuff?
I think it's all really helping. I think it's a good balance. So far, I've been able to handle it. And off-road racing, off-road has taught me so much about stock car racing because I've become really good at driving a loose car, but also stock car racing is helping me in off-road because it's keeping me to the point where I can drive the car smoother without having to pitch it in so hard in every corner.
Yeah, you feel like it's definitely helping out, bringing a little bit from the table, and and a lot of the guys that you're competing against, they've never had that experience. They're all off-road guys, and it seems like it's definitely working for you, especially right now. It's obviously proof is there, podium finish.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So looking at things this year, obviously we've got you in Pro Light and Lucas Oil. As far as the pavement racing and things like that, what are the plans for you in NASCAR and the stock car racing for this year?
I think the plans for me, I've been running some limited late model stuff out in Madeira, but now I'd say about June, July, I'll be heading back east to go do some super late model stuff with Barn Seuss, and so I think that will be a really good deal.
Yeah. Well, and how has that been for you and the family? I mean, your dad, obviously, he's got his roots in the Southwest with his off-road programs and things like that. I know he's, originally from Nebraska, but, your home base is there in the Southwest. I mean, how has that been for you going back and forth across the country? I mean, that's had to been a little bit exciting and a little bit different feel because I know I've been to North Carolina and it's just a different feel for motorsports back there. I mean, it's very, very different than the Southwest.
Yeah, definitely. I think North Carolina is definitely the pinnacle of motorsports, and if you ever want to make it in any type of racing, you have to be out here.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what people are now realizing, and so everyone that's racing is making their way out to North Carolina. But traveling, I'm gotten pretty used to it. I've done that pretty much my entire life.
Well, and I got to ask, I know, obviously, you've got the stock car racing, you've got, the off-road background now. I know you had a chance, did you have a chance to test some Rallycross cars last year, possibly? Some lights cars, maybe?
No, I didn't do really testing any light cars. I think my focus is more on circle track racing. That's where I see my future being.
Yeah, well, and that was going to be my next question. You're still super, super young, but 5-10 years out. I mean, at some point, do you feel like you're going to have to pick between stock car racing or off road, or are you just going to enjoy the ride right now, being able to do a little bit of everything?
Well, my focus is on stock cars, definitely. So I have sponsor commitments already from this year for off road, and so. But my focus for the upcoming years is on stock cars because I know that my future is going to be in that, and I know off-road will always be there, and I'll always come back to race when I can.
Yeah, well, and it's got to have been pretty exciting for you. I know, Toyota's come on board. You've got Monster Energy on board, and both of them, obviously, in NASCAR, they've got their, they've got a big presence there. So it's got to be pretty exciting, being surrounded by a couple of sponsors who can be there with you up through the entire ladder.
Definitely, for sure. Like I have two of the best, most NASCAR associated sponsors out there that are pumped to be in it, and so I think that's definitely a big help to me, having those people supporting behind me.
Yeah. Well, and I got to ask, going back to what we originally said, but I know, first time I saw your race, was out there at Terracross, and I think that was the first time you really had been behind the wheel of a Razor, and I think you went out, if I remember right, in qualifying, you set like the second fastest time behind Luberg. I think you beat your dad in qualifying, but how was that? I mean, you went into that, and I think it was an unknown for everybody, and man, you went out there, and it was like, it was game on. I know I was calling the television episode. There was even a point where you did like a backflip in that big pit. And how was that?
It was crazy. That Terracross is definitely a crazy series. It's a lot of rough racing, trying to keep your car to finish till the end because the tracks are just so gnarly. But I think it puts on a great show, and it's a really great series. And yeah, that was pretty much my first time behind a Razor. And it was just a different feeling. And, I ended up backflipping, actually, on that huge, it was like a hill, uphill. Yeah. And a person in front of me got high-sided on the top, and I had nowhere to go. It's not like you could back up.
Yeah. So, talking about that, I mean, obviously you backflip there, and there's the tie-in. I know your brothers are really big into motocross and stuff like that. The two-wheel side of things ever interest you, or are you pretty happy with four wheels?
No, not really. I love four wheels. I love racing cars. I think that's where my true talent is at.
Yeah. So, moving forward just a little bit here, I want to go back. I mean, it's, you're such a young age. You got an amazing career ahead of you. How's it been with you? I mean, now all of a sudden you've got all these, these people following you on social media and tweeting at you and stuff like that. And it looks like you've got a ton of fan support. I mean, it's got to be pretty exciting for you to go onto social media and have this massive, like, cheering section for you, pumped up after every race and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's great to have some positive feedback always. It always keeps you more pumped up and ready to be better. And so definitely having that following behind me, you get to see all my fans seeing what I do and how I race and where I'm racing. It really gets them interacting.
Yeah. Well, I know we got to kind of wrap things up here, but I know you were busy back in North Carolina, but I appreciate the time, Hailie. Good luck, and I'm sure we'll see you out at the racetrack here real soon.
Yeah, thank you. No problem.
All right. Thanks a lot, Hailie.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. That was Haley Degan, one of the most talented up-and-coming. I don't know if you can even call her up-and-coming. The girl's just dominating at such a young age. Very well-spoken. Daughter of Brian Deegan. I've known Brian for a long, long time. And I got to tell you, whether it be off-road, pavement racing, Haley Degan, this girl, she has a massive future ahead of her. Really excited to see, where she goes in the next 5 years. It looks like she's really focused on NASCAR and pavement racing. And, man, the girl is just uber talented. Definitely one to watch. If you're not following her on social media already, you definitely need to be. Lots of good stuff coming out of Haley Degan and, the entire Degan family, man. Her brothers are killing it. Obviously your dad is still, highly successful running at such an elite level. So good family, good times. Big thanks to Haley Degan for stopping by the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We'll be back after this.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
MMA at its best, and it's back. It's the RUF-13. Live cage fights on the river in the Blue Water Resort and Casino Showroom Saturday, May 13th with live fights starting at 7 p.m. Get your $25 ringside tickets now. General admission is just $15. Doors open at 6 p.m. Tickets available online or at the gift shop. Live cage fights on the river.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
My name is Raven, professional wrestling superstar, world-class idiot, and raconteur extraordinaire. Join me for my new podcast, The Raven Effect. Every Monday here on the Jericho Network on Podcast One, we'll be covering current events and any and all topics that can be properly bantered. Download and listen to the show on PodcastOne.com, the Podcast One app, or subscribe on iTunes. Quote the Raven, nevermore.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, and joined on the line by my partner in crime, Amy Hood. And I just got done with some Haley Degan, and a big shout out to her for being on the show. But I don't know, Amy, you and I, we got a lot to talk about here. We got some Supercross. And got some big news coming out of you. You putting out a YouTube video for this new Hoonigan, I guess, female driver search. I know I text you the link to that. And I know the guys over at Hoonigan. I think it's really cool what they're doing with Leah Pritchard. To try and bring in another female driver, but it looks like they've got this Fiat drift car that they're looking for somebody to wheel it for them. And I got to say, I've been looking at all the latest videos that they put out, and I think you got the edge on the competition here.
Oh, well, thank you. If it's anything, I know my specialty is making cool videos and winning contests. I always try to figure out what I got to do to, really impress. And like I said earlier, I'm just looking to drive a little bit of everything before, my day is up and my time is done. But I know it's not a long time coming, but I want to try driving and riding, like, everything and anything. Like, that's the only way to become, like, a really experienced rider in motorsports, actually. Try a little bit of everything. So when you told me that they're looking for a driver, I'm like, cool. Like, this sounds something right up my alley, an opportunity to get behind the wheel of something totally different. Just like a monster truck. It was completely learning a whole new style of driving, and it's fun. Like, I like it. I can, apply a little bit of my background in moto and monster trucks to something like this. And yeah, I looked at what they were looking for, and they wanted you to film something just as your phone telling why that you would be, the next best option for a female driver. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. And my video is basically saying, hey, my name is Amy Hood, and let me show you why. And, I put all together clips and takes of all my most extreme moto and monster jam adventures, and it was pretty good. So, I think I'd rather show them what I'm working with rather than telling them. So, hopefully I have a good opportunity, and I would love to. I'd love to represent Fiat and Hoonigan and just really get behind the wheel, something different, and destroy that car. Yeah. It'd be so fun.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, I am glad that I am not Brian Scotto and everybody over at the Hoonigans, because I've been looking at the videos, and there's some international people, throwing their videos up. You just search it on YouTube. I know one of our really good friends, Sarah Price, she just dropped her hat in the ring, and she's throwing it in there, and I'm like, man, like, there's some highly talented female drivers trying to get this gig. So I'm glad I'm not on the voting committee. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I know you have a special place in your heart for your little Canadian moto chick friend, Amy Hood.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, if you were on the voting panel, I better have gotten that right, because it's you. But yeah, no, with people like Sarah Price, it's we grew up to riding motocross together, and she obviously has so much experience behind four wheels. So, the competition is definitely stiff. But, whether I do or don't make it, it just would be a really cool opportunity to be able to represent, such prestigious brands like Fiat and Hoonigan and, again, be able to drive something different and just, expand my palette and build up that resume.
Yeah. Well,
I want to be a well-rounded female athlete. I want to be able to jump behind the wheel of anything and absolutely kill it. I don't want to just be known as Ingrid the motocross racer. I want to be known as, the motorsports athlete.
Yeah. Well, one thing I think that's really cool about this, you know what I mean? And obviously I'm pulling for you. I hope you get it. But the thing that I find cool about this is that there's so many talented female drivers, that are applying for it, and I think that's really cool because 10, 15 years ago, you didn't think of all these women in motorsport, and now you've got you and, and obviously you mentioned Sarah, but, not just, going for this, but I mean, look, we got Haley Degan who, God, the girl's like 14 and she's destroying all the guys that are twice her age, in Lucas Oil, and she's going to be in NASCAR. I mean, I think it's a cool point, in society today where we've got these really talented female drivers who can go out and compete with the men, get sponsorships, and they're on the same playing field,
Absolutely. And like you said, and they're coming all over different parts of the world. It's not just America.
Yeah.
When, it used to be like, America held, up to the only women top athletes, but they're coming out of the woodworks. And it's actually pretty cool because when I moved to Florida here, or forever, how long I'm going to be here for, I made a post online just saying, hey, I'm in Florida. If anybody knows a bike that I could borrow or ride, let's go moto. And it's crazy how many people that I actually, women that I got who are from here, who, are from other places. I had this girl, her name is Monica, and she is from Czech Republic, and she actually moved here, and she's a professional Terracross rider. And it's just super cool to see all these women, from all over the world now. It's crazy. It used to be a handful, and now it's, it's a whole field full. It's wild. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, I think it's definitely awesome. Speaking of awesome, switching gears here, you and I could talk about this all day long, but we got to talk about some Supercross here. Man, I don't even know what to think here. So first off, let's talk 250s because 450s, we'll get into that in a second. But Shane McElrath, I'm a big fan. Obviously had him on the show earlier this year. He took a win, but the big news is Justin Hill clinched the championship for the 250 West. So he had a pretty darn good season there.
He did, and I know when he jumped ship and he was riding for KTM, he was extremely unhappy. I remember talking to him. I've known Justin for a while. He hated it. He was not vibing with his team. He was not enjoying what he was doing, and you could really tell by his performance. And as soon as he switched, jumped ship then to Kawasaki, you could really see the typical Justin Hill that we know and love. Super dominant outdoors. And he just hated his Supercross season the year before. So I'm glad to see, he's kind of back into the swing of things. And obviously it goes to show what a good team with the right people and the right bike and the right brands can really do. It could obviously clinch you a Supercross title. So really stoked for him. He is a great guy. And I know that, once he does make that transition to 450s, he's going to be on the move. But it's exciting because I've been wanting to see Justin finally step it up for Supercross because I just know that he could be, a tough competitor for, the Joey Savagis and Jeremy Martins of the world for outdoors. So it's about time, Justin.
Yeah, Mon, it sounds like we'll have to get him back on air, Shane McElrath, but I know he's still got another round left of West, but it sounds like he was trying to make the transition to 450s next year too. Yeah. So I think, looking at next year, I think Supercross 450s, competition's been great this year. I think next year it's going to be insane. Yeah,
I do think that, we've seen such a shakeup in Supercross, which we typically don't. It's usually Dungey or, Ken Roxon walking away with everything or one dominant 250 rider. So I just think with how, diverse the top 3, top 5 field was, that it's going to be, again, another just as crazy as Supercross season has been. It's going to be an even wilder outdoor season because then we see the guys who've been, more so the middle of pack to are really, outstanding outdoor riders. It's just going to it's going to be anybody's game for outdoor for sure.
Yeah. So you got to talk about 450s here. So this weekend, dead heat going into Going into the main event, Dungey gets the edge, gets out front, and Tomac put on a clinic, passed like 10 riders, ends up coming back and winning the thing. I mean, this was the one Dungey. I mean, I immediately go, all right, he's got this in the bag, you know. Tomac's way back there. Dungey's just going to check out, and it didn't happen.
And you know what? Remember that you said it was going to be Tomac Dungey.
Yeah.
I don't remember what number that we're on right now. I forget how many we have left. But, you know, he's 3 points ahead right now, Tomac, over Dungey. And if you could see him be an animal and come through the pack like that and clinch the win, like, dang, like, I think this is Tomac's year. 2017 is, you know, he is going to be the king of Supercross. Like, that's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, he's having a phenomenal year. I mean, Dungey's right there. I mean, don't count him out at 3 points. Anything can happen. You know what I mean? We got 2 rounds left. We got New Jersey and then I think Vegas, right? So, but it was just
2 more.
Yeah, and I'm a massive Dungey fan. I know we're working on in the next couple of weeks having Dungey on air. I think it's going to happen. I don't know when. And, you know, I'm a massive Dungey fan. I know you grew up with him in Minnesota racing, you know, at the local track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's Tomac. He's riding so strong. It's just crazy. Mm-hmm. This is definitely, though.
It is coming down to the wire.
Yeah.
It's coming down to the wire. There's only, you know, it's 3 points separating it. And the problem is that they're both so consistent. They're going to have to be a massive, you know, like somebody's going to have to stick their nose in there to really shake up the points there in, you know, 2 more rounds left to go, or, you know, Dungey has to be flawless.
Yeah. And, you know, and Anderson could do it. He's running really strong towards the end of the season. I know, you know, that stupid shove, you want to call it a punch, you want to call it a shove, you can call it whatever you want. But at this point in time, he's really got to be regretting that because it cost him, you know, at least 20 points, I think, and 15 to 20 points. And he's riding so, you know, at such a high level. He could sneak in and take a win in one of these last 2 rounds, I think.
Oh, hopefully. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see a big change up and shake down But I'd like to see it come down to the very end, you know, come down to Vegas. That just brings all the hype, you know, to that last and final round. And that's what everybody, you know, waits to see. That makes for great racing.
Yeah, for sure.
A battle to the finish line.
Absolutely. All right, Amy, well, we got to take a short commercial break. Appreciate the time. We come back. We got Max Papis on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Do you race, or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500, or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at ImpactRaceProducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. This is our Terracross Starts with Optimus segment. And, man, Joe Duncan bringing a pretty big name into the Optimus segment today. Max Papis, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks for having me on the show. It's an honor, and looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So Joe Duncan, I mean, I know I've seen some teasers coming out of the Terracross kind of social media feed, and obviously Max, we're going to talk about his racing career here in a minute, but he's got this new company MPI, that makes some of the best steering wheels in the business. I know I'm seeing them pop up on some of these Terracross rides. What's going on here, Joe?
Yeah, we've got a great relationship going with Max and MPI, and we have MPI steering wheels as the official steering wheel of Terracross for the upcoming season and hopefully for a long time to come. And it was a great kickoff meeting you, Max, and talking and getting the ball rolling. And after a few weeks of getting all the information back and forth with how busy Max is and myself, but in the end, we've got everything worked out. And if the scheduling and everything works out, Max is even going to come and I think he's going to come and beat up on you, Jimmy, out on the Terracross course.
Oh, that'll be a ton of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. It's an honor to bring MPI in association with Terracross. We've been working very diligently in the last 5 or 6 years to expand the brand. We started, taking care of all the NASCAR, guys here in North Carolina because we're based in Morrisville, North Carolina. We started from the garage all the way to this year having the entire field of the Daytona 500 using MPI steering wheel and slowly expanding it into the off-road business. We just started, we worked really hard this year with, 2 of our dealers, in California and we have success both in the off-road and the dirt racing, we do a lot of different products, expanding from a sprint car to off-road and basically utilizing my knowledge of 30 plus years of racing and the manufacturing, facility that we have in Italy to come up with the best product that I know how to build and, really proud of the association of the values that Terracross has, the way that we go about the business, the opportunity that Terracross is giving to racers to explore their limits, and it's been a great adventure, and we are planning to be with them for the years to come. So, it's a great combination, and I want to thank, Joe to have us, part of that as the MPI official steering wheel, and I think that will lead as well to me to have some fun in some of your events. So that's a bonus.
Yeah, that's a bonus. Well, I got to ask, Max. I know, obviously you've raced the IndyCar, Formula One. I mean, the list goes on. But I know I saw you guys. I think you were out at the UTV World Championship, a couple of weeks ago. But you guys have really seen the off-road market. I mean, how has that been for you? Because it's got to be something kind of new coming into UTV racing, Terracross. I mean, off-road, trophy trucks, RZRs. I mean, how has that been, and how is this market different from everything that you know?
But first of all, let me share with you a couple of stories. When I came to U.S., as you mentioned, I drove IndyCar, but I drove for a team that was very recognized in the off-road and in the off-road department. They used to run Ivan Stewart at the Ironman.
Yeah.
So I got pretty familiar with what was the Baja 1000, Baja 500, and really got to understand and learn that side of racing. And this year, we developed a really good relationship with both with two great dealers that we have in California, CarTech and ORW.
Okay.
That they are basically the market leader in that department. And obviously we entertain. We learn more about side by side because over here in North Carolina it's used a little bit more. As it's not as used as much as California, Arizona, where there is a lot of off-road racing itself. Here it's a little bit more like a utility vehicle, but it's at the same time, they're starting to go racing a lot more, and I felt that it's a different brand. But what I did, I just applied what I learned in different kind of sports. Basically, we went into the industry, we learned what they liked about what they had and what they didn't, and we provided with a new steering wheel, applying all the safety, all the ergonomic concepts that I learned through the last 15 years of being involved in the business. And they asked for a washable product. We came up with that. They asked for a very recognizable product, and we applied the same orange marker that has been the trademark of MPI. So basically translating all the work that we did, from the NASCAR land to the sprint car, department in dirt racing into a new form of sport, and I'm really excited about it. I think that, as you said, you're going to start to see a lot more of MPI in the sport and the business, and let's put it like this, when you show up at the UTV World Championship and you end up winning the first event with R.J. Anderson, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I noticed too, and I don't think a lot of people, they look at steering wheels and a lot of it's, the color or, this and that. I saw it. It really scared me. There was I would say a name brand company, and this driver here at Parker to start the year in Trophy Truck, he had a bad crash in qualifying, and he showed me his steering wheel after the crash, and it literally was folded in half. And this was from a company that I thought was really reputable, and it scared me. I go, this is scary because this is a company out there. They're doing a lot of marketing, but you really don't know what's quality and what isn't, and that, to see a steering wheel literally folded in half as a driver, I went, man, I really need to start doing my homework with steering wheels.
Let me, give you a 5 seconds, story so you can better understand where I'm coming from. The reason why MPI was born, it was because of necessity. I was driving in soccer racing in NASCAR, and they were using a very old style product. I crashed, got hurt, put my head on it, thought about it, and came up with a different product that now is used by almost every single cup car. And that was safety first. MPI stands for Max Papis Innovation, so we wanted to apply that knowledge into everything that we do. And I feel that as most of the people grow up like I did, just looking at the steering wheel like something you hang on to. And I learned that steering wheel is a safety device as much as your hands device, your seat belt, your restraint system, and it needs to be strong enough to withstand a lot of pressure and crashes and everything, but at the same time it needs to be able to deform only under certain loads.
Yeah.
So we were actually very fortunate to be able to go and do a lot of crash testing and develop the best product that we knew for the stocker guys, and we turned that knowledge into all the other 36 different products that we have in MPI. So as I always said, my job is serving the sport in the best way that I know, and we started from the garage, and we came all the way to be able to talk now here on the phone, and talk about MPI as a serious company. So, I'm really proud of that, and everything is about servicing the sport and providing the sport with the best product that I know at a price that can be, at an affordable price, and a price that, equal quality. So, as I say, if you're around, go and take a look, look at the, check out the, MaxPapisInc.com and see what we do, and any comments are welcome. Really proud of what we've been doing so far, but, we are just at the beginning, and really proud of all the, accessories and products, and especially the feedback we get from the racers. As I always say, we went to the Parker 425, we went, to the UTV World Championship, we are working to as many, snore events that we can, as many Lucas Oil events that we can, and really proud of what, our brand ambassador, in brand MPI West, person Mike Johnson is doing over there in the West Coast. He's really spreading the word. He's educating people, and I feel honored about the relationship that we have with great athletes and great racers, and let's see where this is going to lead. So far, respect the sport, provide the athlete what they need, give them good social media, social exposure, and I guess that it's all about everything we can do within our company to be able to promote and fuel the dream of racing. That is the same dream that I had all my life.
Awesome. Well, Joe, I got to say, my friend, I know we're running out of time, but I'm getting a little scared here with Terracross. You're bringing in too many big-name drivers, and it's going to make it even tougher for me to get a podium here.
Well, don't worry, Jimmy. We won't put you in the women's class that you helped build.
Yeah,
you really struggle.
Yeah, well, I know that you ask any guy in Terracross, nobody wants to race in that division. We're all scared, man. Those girls are ridiculously fast.
Yeah, Jim. What I loved about what Joe has been doing on the Terracross is the fact that basically you have a plain level field. Yeah. You go out there. All the vehicles are very similar, and it's about putting yourself in the right spot and obviously having fun, but at the same time, compete fairly, and I really like that. That's why we married that concept on the fact that it's all about the athlete, with good, with a very good equipment, like the Polaris that they have. It's good equipment, let the driver and the crew do their job, and so far it looked like it's a pretty good show. And we're proud with MPI to be associated with Terracross.
Yeah,
and we're honored to have MPI on board. And as you could tell, Jimmy, and the things that Max was saying, it sounds very similar to what we've talked about for years with Terracross. And it's bringing back to the racer and keeping it affordable and having a good quality product. All those same things, cross between the two companies, which made a perfect fit for us to work together.
Yeah, sounds like
absolutely. So I gotta tell this, to all the racers that are listening, just wait and see. We're gonna present you guys with some amazing new trophies and some uniqueness, that only MPI can do, and it's gonna be a great adventure. And I'm looking forward a lot to meet all the racers that they have a tremendous passion, for the sport, and it's going to be a good day, and I'm super excited about being able to be part of it.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to having you out there, Max, and looking forward to racing with you. And best of luck with MPI. I know I get a couple of Razor builds, and I've been on the website already scanning through trying to pick out my steering wheels I need for these new Razor builds. So would definitely consider me a customer, my friend.
Absolutely. Now check out the MPI S and then MPI-DO. Those two products, together with our, hub adapter, are the specific one that we built for side-by-side. and give me your feedback. We're excited about it, and I can promise you that I will be kind of respectful if I'm going to see you right in front of me, kind of. I'm not going to promise you nothing, but I might maybe think about twice before jumping on top of you.
Oh, good stuff.
I love it. And the game is on.
Yeah, definitely game is on. Thank you, Max.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Joe. And
competition.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely going to be good times for sure out at Terracross. Can't wait for heydays. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks,
and
Max.
thank you, Joe, and thank Jimmy, and I appreciate all the effort and the support that all the race fans, gave me through these years, and I'm here to give it back all to you guys, and thanks again for the love and the great honest support that I received through all these years of racing, and I'm really honored to be able to be talking to you guys and looking forward to see all of you guys on the racetrack. Thank you.
And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here, wrapping things up on an epic edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show today. Man, what more can I say? It was just an amazing guest lineup. I mean, Max Papis, motorsports legend, on air. We had R.J. Anderson. He's coming off a massive 2-week stretch that saw the release of a viral video, a UTV World Championship win, and doing double duty at the Lucas Oil race. And then you've got Haley Degan, the Dirt Princess dominating in her first Lucas Oil event, taking a podium. And then to cap it all off, you throw in Steve Arpin, a dude that's getting ready to throw down in Red Bull Global Rallycross this weekend in Memphis. Good friend of mine, just a badass race car driver who's driven just about everything to get where he's at today. And you mix in Amy Hood and I, and it was one heck of a show, man. I no complaints here at all by me. Had a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys did too. We got Supercross finale coming up in 2 weeks. We got Supercross this weekend. We got Formula Drift this weekend. We got Red Bull GRC this weekend. Lots of racing coming up. NOR 1000 going to be capping off. We'll have full coverage of that. Give a shout out to Polaris, Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Casey Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, DirtFish Rally School, Impact, OTSFF, Optimus, Terracross, and the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Give me a follow. It's at JimBeaver15 on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's at AmyHood71 on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Make sure and rate, review, subscribe to Project Action on iTunes, as well as the Down and Dirty Radio Show. And that coupon code is JBDirtFish for 15% off all classes at DirtFish Rally School. Use that on their website. And if you haven't already, I made that big announcement on Twitch. We're going to start live streaming this radio show on Twitch. So please go and follow me. It's at JimBeaver15 on Twitch, and you get all those updates when and where we start live streaming. It's going to be fun. Thanks to all you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who has listened from the start. If you listen to every show, if you've listened to one show, seriously, I wouldn't be where I'm at today without you listeners. And I know that you can always shoot me messages on social media. I like to know where your head's at on anybody you'd like to hear as a guest, or any upcoming stuff you want talked about, or questions, or anything else. But I'm going to end the show like I do all of them. Be safe, and as always, game on.